and welcome to our meditation series. I'm Mercedes, and I'm covering for today. And my topic for today is meditation despite distractions. So I thought of this topic because it's so appropriate, especially for my case, since I have a little one in the house. And I feel like, especially in the past month, that my meditation practice has been challenged, and primarily because there is a huge distraction, and I'm sure everyone is experiencing that. We've literally, our lives have been changed completely upside down. So, not to state the obvious, but I'm sure many of you, especially if you're tuning in to this live, we're all very well aware of the benefits of meditation. So one of the biggest challenges during this time is, how do I get back or stay on top of my meditation practice despite these distractions? So in today's quick session, I'll go through 3 pointers that I've found helpful and kind of what I go by, especially that I found very handy during this time. And I just kind of want to reiterate one of the main big things that we gain from meditation during this time. Actually, let me go into that right now. What I find is that because of what's going on, many of us are being challenged. And it's one thing to practice positive thinking or faith, like almost ritually, or repeating, telling ourselves that it's going to be okay, things are going to work out. It's another to actually have trust and experience that trust that, whatever is happening, whatever's thrown at me, I'm prepared, I'm ready. This is perfect in my drama. This is perfect for my scene, because I've gotten up to this point, and we're all being asked to step up, to shift gears, and to really face this challenge with others, and especially with the people I live with. And going into our 30-day quarantine, I'm sure there are even bigger challenges that are being uncovered versus the time when we were in week 1 of this quarantine. So the situation is definitely asking all of us to step up, and in my opinion and in my experience, the only way to really do that is with a very regular meditation practice. And only by meditating can we cultivate that trust in whatever's being thrown at us. And to experience that, it's quintessential. Otherwise, I think we'll go through this whole process kind of frazzled, or doing things we wouldn't do otherwise. So that's my spiel on why meditation is so key, especially at this time. So going to the 3 points, how to meditate despite all these distractions, despite the news playing in the background, despite getting thrown off my schedule. And no matter how much I try and set a schedule, or look for that schedule, look for a rhythm or a routine, it's constantly changing. And I know in my experience that's what's happened. So my first suggestion would be to simply be prepared. And that's on a day-to-day, case-by-case basis, and that's just looking forward to for example, the next day, and what do I need to get done in terms of my meditation practice. So if I anticipate that my kids are going to be busy, and I have to be engaged, and I need to take them out for their physical activity, or I need to get them to their homeschooling during a certain time, obviously that's not going to be a good time to meditate. So often, especially for parents now, the best way to be prepared is to wake up a little bit earlier. And that's actually a very core practice in the meditation, Raja Yoga meditation practice, is waking up super, super early. I'm not gonna tell you what time, but it's super early. And that practice is, this is not a secret. Many successful top CEOs also do this. They literally wake up super early. Why? Because that gives you so much time for yourself. That gives you so much time to clear your thoughts and set your rhythm for the day. And so, for anyone just embarking on this journey, if you can wake up, 15, 10 minutes earlier than you usually do, um, that's a great start. And right from there, you would gain more time. So, because what I'm finding is I actually don't have time, especially during these days for some reason, especially being stuck at home. I'm just caught up with having to do a lot of things. So those early moments are essential in getting a good meditation practice in. So it's the first point is just being prepared and anticipating those distractions. And obviously, if you journal, that would be great. You could track, what is it that's taking me away from my meditation practice? What is it that I'd like to improve on? What is it that I could change? Those are things that we can definitely improve. And again, it's a case by case basis and a day to day kind of thing that we have to keep track of, especially at this time, because there is no certainty. Everything is changing constantly. Um, Second point, or second suggestion, would be to be regular. And by regular is to also cultivate that practice of patience and tolerance. Um, Raja Yoga meditation is a meditation practice you take with you to your everyday tasks. So nowadays is the time to practice patience and tolerance. Um, so when you're regular, you're also being patient and tolerant with yourself. Do not give up. For example, you set 30 minutes to sit for meditation and you wanted to have some clarity or some sort of experience, and you don't get it. And that happens. But do not give up. Don't let that deter you from going back at that practice the following day. And when you're regular, you just set a regular practice. So that's really key. And not only are you regular with the practice, you're also regular with the timing and where you meditate. So try and pick a good spot in your home, and try and use that spot to, and obviously, if it's not working out, try a different spot. No problem, but never give up, and always be open to the possibility that maybe I have to change things up. So that's the second point. And the third suggestion is to have an anchor. An anchor can be anything as simple as your breath. So you could take a long deep breath, equal counts going in, count up to 8, and equal counts going out, count up to 8. And that will, and obviously this is a common practice used in yoga, or any physical activity, and that'll just set not only your mind but your whole body into that intention of a meditation practice. So it could be your breath, it could be music, it could be an alarm or a timetable. Those are kind of anchors. So this could be very abstract, but in Raja Yoga, the main anchors are certain thoughts, certain ideas. And the main thought is that I am a soul, a point of light. That could be your main anchor. And from that, I am also trying to connect to the most powerful soul. And when I connect to that most powerful soul, I'm able to sit back and trust whatever's happening around me. So you can see from that one seed of thought, it's growing and growing. Or let's say you choose, okay, maybe my breath is my anchor for this moment because the kids are running around going crazy, and it's very hard for me to tune all that noise out. That's fine as well, because you're cultivating that regular practice of just being still. Sometimes that's all we need. A long deep breath in and a long deep breath out. And to further that anchor, it could also be an intention. So an intention could be an experience. So what is it to experience stillness, for example, serenity, surrender, and like what I mentioned earlier, trust. So I find that setting an intention as an anchor to be very helpful when I'm setting my meditation practice for 30 or 45 minutes. So that's obviously much longer, and that's when you've gotten to the point of being able to practice for 10 minutes or so, and really having that time. So I feel like when you have an intention as kind of your guide, you can let your thoughts run, because it is going to happen. Your mind is going to be distracted just because there's a lot of things going on, and that's perfectly okay. But when you pull yourself back into that intention of, all right, I've taken the time out to meditate. Let me just sit still, be quiet. I'm just going to sit back and watch all those thoughts, watch all those feelings come up, because sometimes that's the beauty of meditation. You can use it for whatever you need at that moment, and sometimes, or a lot of times, it's letting those feelings come up and not necessarily processing them, but just giving those feelings a place to come up, and acknowledging yourself, and then giving those feelings out to something more powerful, and then receiving that, what, there's something out there that's more powerful than me, that's watching over me, and that's beyond all of this. um so I find that when I have that intention of just wanting to experience that type of surrender, it'll take your meditation practice to another level, and you'd be surprised, what comes out of it. Because when you get to that point, you're not almost force feeding your mind of positive thoughts, which in my opinion is kind of hard these days, because no matter how much you repeat to yourself that things are going to be okay, or because we don't know, or we just don't know that things are going to get back to how they used to be. And a lot of times that's our definition of what's okay, or that's our definition of comfort and of safety. So when I simply surrender to what's going on, and take comfort in the fact that I am being watched over no matter what, and I have the company of someone who's watched over me my entire life, there's a great comfort in that. And not to mention that we're not alone. We're all in this process together. um, yeah, so I'd say those three things are have been very useful for me during this time. And and yeah, and before I forget, please do comment on all these videos if you are watching. Feel free to share or like. Um, we are, looking for feedback, actually, and that's the best way to learn, is to share and comment, and hopefully we can get back to you, or hopefully we can address certain questions on the next video. Um, I just feel like meditation is a learning process, and it's a lifetime of a learning process. Um, I can attest to its benefits, and to the practice giving me strength, giving me sustenance. Um, but yeah, so just to recap, those 3 points are: to be prepared, to have a regular practice and to have an anchor. So with that said, let's do a quick drill. And this you could practice throughout the day, you know, to just see how long can I hold that anchor, whatever you choose that anchor to be. So let's start with 10 seconds and then extend it to 20, then 40, then hopefully a minute. So let's give it a quick go and just get into a space of comfort, sit back, let those shoulders relax, and just take a pause. So that was about 10 seconds. And you can sense, and if you tried it with me, you could sense the time warp that, wow, 10 seconds, they could be pretty powerful. So let's give it another try and try and extend that time frame. Okay, so again, sit back. You don't have to close your eyes, but if you prefer to close your eyes, that's fine. But in this practice, we do recommend with the eyes open so you're alert and you get the practice of using this meditation practice in your daily routine. Great. See, that was easy, right? So the more you do this and the more you extend the time, the more you'll get into the practice and see how much your thoughts shift, how where your body needs to be, where your gaze needs to be. And every stage, every step, it's a learning process and you gain more, you know, the more you do it, obviously. So let's do the last one and try and hold it for as long as possible until the session pretty much is up for time. And that's it. Um, Congratulations if you got through that quick drill and if you got through this session. I think everyone is on the path for self-development and nothing like this time and age for us to all learn together. Hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, and feel free to leave any questions or contact us. We have our Facebook page up as well with all the contact information if you need. Thank you. Have a good evening.